teaching and tactics are there, but there's an emphasis. In year 2, the emphasis really is teaching. He goes on that preaching tour, and that's when he has the miraculous catch of fish. And Peter says, "Depart from me, Lord, I'm a wicked man." Oh, you got the wrong guy. Always the right guys think that, right? But Jesus says, "No, you're going to come with me. You follow me, and I'll make you into something you're not. I'll make you fishers of men." During that year, he travels all throughout Galilee and Judea. He preaches the gospel of the kingdom, and he brings the kingdom.
That's great. And I wonder, you mentioned it, I want to jump back on that just for a second, the reluctant follower.
Yeah.
And again, like I was saying last weekend, looking at those 3 guys that, later, I'll catch up with you later, go on down the road, I'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, because you can see in the conversation, Jesus doesn't give up on them. He challenges them. And I wouldn't be surprised to find out that all 3 of them ended up on the travel team with Jesus. And God took care of all of that. So, I mean, when you talk about discipleship, especially with young believers, maybe, brand new believers who are so fired up, are maybe a bit more, readily engaged in that. But I think it's something that scares Christians. So how do you dispel that fear?
I mean, that's so good, because most of us, when we come to faith, right, like this is our discipleship experience. 75% of Christians out there have not been discipled. Actually, it's 78%. So we tend to disciple how we ourselves were discipled. Or, flip side, we tend to not disciple how we ourselves were not discipled. And most of us got a crash course like this. Hey, you're a believer. Welcome to the family of God. Hey, here's this book. They put a 1,000-page book in your hand. Read this. You're going to need it. Oh, talk to God. That's called prayer. Don't worry. It's super easy.
And they say, well, where do I start? Where do I start in this big book? Just open the Bible.
Yeah, just read it. And then they say, oh, great. Talk to God. Super easy, right? And then oh, hey, tell other people, because there's more where this came from. And by the way, you got to come back next week, because there's a guy called the devil. He hates your guts. He's going to totally try to kick the snot out of you. So be sure to come back so we can bandage you up. All right, goodbye. And most of us are like, okay, that was my 30-second discipleship spiel. And that's, hey, at least we got that. Like, I'm at the stage now, Bill, where I would rather celebrate what was done than criticize what wasn't done. And what I love is the average church, we teach on Sundays. That's the teaching rhythm. We do the time and teaching rhythm in small groups, and that's where discipleship happens. When you overlap time and teaching, you get discipleship. And that's great, because on a Tuesday night at my own study, or Wednesday night or Thursday or whatever night it is, I'm spending time now with people, and transformation really happens. And I would say almost every church out there has the 2 circles nailed, like dialed in. And 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
The third one is where I think all of us struggle, right? And that's where I struggled, until I met you. And it's believers, it's okay to struggle. Like, the disciples were ready to just show up for teaching every day. And I love this about Jesus. He waits till year 3. In year 3, they got the bookends. He sends out the 12 at the beginning of that year, and the 72 at the end. And all in between is when they walk on water, they feed the 4,000 and 5,000. They haven't done anything with their own hands until year 3. And that's the beauty of how Jesus, he eases us in. And so when you're looking at disciple making, this journal is going to take you on a step. And Pastor Bill said it perfectly. They're going to give you, right away, we don't want you to do this alone. Your first step. And I know that Bill said this because he knows he's a disciple maker. First thing to do is grab someone else. You're not meant to do this alone.
Yeah. You mentioned the chronological, is it the chronological Bible?
Chronological Gospels. There's a group called Plus Nothing that'll send them to you for free.
Okay. How do you get a hold of it?
You go to plusnothing.com.
Plusnothing.com. I'm intrigued. I don't think I've ever seen the chronological, the Bible laid out chronologically. I've seen the harmony of the Gospels, but that's not always, and some of them differ a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's 3 T's. Do you want to give that right now?
Yeah. Time, teaching, and tactics.
Okay. And just a little blurb on each one of those.
So time is just spending time with people, just getting to know, building a relationship. Teaching is instructing them, going through the Bible, like you said. One of the things we'll teach you to do is to go through the Gospel of John together with someone. And then the last thing is to tactically engage, and that's where you're doing that. You're actually going after someone, because discipleship is with believers. Disciple making, you start praying for someone. So we say first grab your two, that's your disciple making partner, and then start praying for a who, and ask God to open opportunities. And I swear to you, the Holy Spirit is so gentle. He will start to do the heavy lifting. That's why he said, I'll be with you. When you go make disciples, I'm going to be there. I mean, you're about to go on this journey of incredible transformation. Like Peter, none of you see yourselves being disciple makers listening, because you're like me and you're like Pastor Bill. Believe it or not, someone had to disciple us and lead us into it. I mean, Bill discipled me.
Inadvertently, I guess. Hey, give your contact information. Anything you want to give out on where people can follow you, on whether it's social media, website, whatever.
Yeah, you can go to a couple places. You can buy the book now. You can pre-order it. It doesn't drop yet. You can also follow me in some of the training. All of our training and resources are free. That's at newbreedtraining.com. Newbreedtraining.com. And if you want to get the book, you can either buy it on Amazon or other places. Or if you want to donate towards the project, you can go to discipologybook.com, and we'll send you a bunch of cool goodies to go with it.
Quickly spelled discipology. We got 30 seconds left.
DISCIPOLOGY. I was told there would be no pop quizzes on today's podcast.
Thank you so much for wrapping your heart around this. I think it's just such a critical thing right now, that the church gets a hold of this heart, of course, to bring people to Christ.
The MVP crap. How great is that? The guy's got, the Lady Bing, or the Jennings Trophy, or the Calder Memorial Trophy. He's got all these trophies, and they're in his garage and storage bin.
Because his wife doesn't want to be stepping over him.
That's right, because his wife doesn't want him in the house.
That's really funny.
But okay, if that's true, and I believe it's true, because Wayne Gretzky's, is an honorable, honest guy, and he would say the real reason if it was different than that. Sure. If that's true, then how can anybody else in sports or movies hang anything in their home of their own? If the guy who is the MVP more than anyone else in hockey, he can't put one of those trophies in his living room or in his office, how can anyone else hang anything in their home?
Yeah.
How could you do it?
That's funny.
You can't
really
do it.
Funny.
I think it's odd that people have, if they're a celebrity, they have a big photo of themselves in their home.
Yeah.
Like my dad didn't have any. My dad won 6 Emmys, and he had those on a shelf in the living room, but they were high up and you couldn't barely see them. You couldn't read them or anything. And he had them because he was honored by that. But he never had any big posters, like movie posters that he was in or anything like that. He would think that was odd.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little awkward when you get a picture of yourself when you walk in.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what anchor this was, and he's no longer with us. But there was an anchor in local news who had a drawing of himself, like one of those
caricatures.
It was actually a pretty good painting of himself.
So it was an artist.
Yeah, but it was either commissioned or a gift or whatever. But it was literally like 18 feet tall and 9 feet wide. And when you walked into his house, that's the first thing you saw.
Wow, that's really leaning into it, man.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
So I had a caricature at the Palm Restaurant, okay, and
you're very proud of that.
Through the years, they did a second caricature when the Palm was sort of redone. And the two things that were cool about the caricature was it's all about where your caricature is in the restaurant. Like, it's cool to have one,
right,
but if it's by the men's room or something, only the people who are going to the men's room are going to see it. And it's also not a very good brag. I got lucky, and it was right behind the host stand.
Wow.
Okay. And it was right under Richard Lewis, so I thought it was kind of a good neighborhood. And then my second one they did was under J.J. Abrams, right at the... Oh, you going to the Palm? Huge. You check out my caricature. Okay, so anyway, but this gets to your story, like where do you put it? So when the Palm changed locations from West Hollywood, they used to be in West Hollywood near the Troubadour, they moved to Beverly Hills. They took up all of these caricatures, and